government has repatriated a total of 77,184 undocumented foreign nationals to various countries. This number has since escalated to date. Between the 1st of April to the 31st of July, 18,816 persons were formally deported, while 3,016 undocumented foreign nationals are currently awaiting deportation at Lindela Repatriation Center. We have begun demobilizing of Repatriation Center temporary Repatriation Center in Musina following the successful processing and repatriation of thousands of illegal and undocumented foreign nationals. Just over 500 individuals remain at the center and will be repatriated to their respective countries in the coming days. This marks a significant milestone in our coordinated operations, which has been carried out in an orderly, humane, and lawful manner through collaboration of all relevant government departments, foreign missions in South Africa, and our stakeholders. Government will continue enforcing immigration legislation while ensuring that all enforcement measures remain lawful, humane, and consistent with the constitutional and applicable legislations. Equally, we want to thank all operators, officials, members of the society who came forward during these trying times. We are, however, increasingly concerned about the levels of misinformation circulating on our various social media platforms. Several videos are currently being shared, falsely suggesting that certain criminal incidents are linked to the anti-illegal immigration campaigns. We have seen the recirculation and continuous recirculation of videos that some are imported videos. This is not correct. We urge the public not to share unverified information and act responsibly in this regard. The following incidents remain under investigation and are unrelated to anti-illegal immigration operations. In KwaZulu-Natal, the fatal shooting of a Zambian truck driver on the 26th of June along South Coast Road, the murder of a Ugandan national in Escort, a Ghanaian national who was shot and killed in Nyanga, in the Western Cape, in what is believed to be an extortion-related incident. All the above are still under police investigation. On the 23rd of July 2026, a 23-year-old Nigerian national died after collapsing while in police custody during SAP's operation in Belleville, where drugs and unlicensed firearm was recovered. The matter is under investigation by the Independent Police Investigation Directorate, IPID. In KwaZulu-Natal, following the murder of an Ethiopian national in Elandslaagte, 2 suspects have since been arrested. In Gauteng, on the 28th of June 2026, members of Tshwane District Anti-Drug Unit seized approximately 900 grams of cat insecticide. A 60-year-old Nigerian national complained of ill health and later collapsed and died. The incident remains under investigation. Our message to South Africans: as NATJOINTS, we want to reiterate that we remain focused. South Africa is governed by the rule of law. None of us is above the law. No person may take law unto their own hands. Everyone has the constitutional right to protest peacefully or demonstrate. Nobody has the right to intimidate communities, destroy properties, loot businesses, or commit acts of violence or force anyone to do so. Law enforcement agencies will continue enforcing the law fairly and impartially. Operation Channeler continues. Multidisciplinary compliance inspection will continue. Border security operation will continue. Criminal investigations will continue. We further urge all foreign nationals living in South Africa to ensure that they are properly documented and comply with all immigration and other applicable laws. South Africa is a sovereign country. As I indicated, it is ruled by the rule of law. Ahead of us, we are going to be observing the SADC Summit, 46th Summit in Durban in KwaZulu-Natal. NATJOINTS is fully prepared for the upcoming 46th SADC Summit, which is currently underway. South Africans will welcome 12 heads of state and government together with the delegates from across the Southern African Development Community, SADC. Comprehensive security plans have already been activated. All law enforcement, intelligence, and emergency services are working together to ensure the successful hosting of this important regional event. Additional operational details will be communicated closer to the summit. In conclusion, South Africans should remain assured that the country's security forces remain fully prepared, fully coordinated, and fully committed to maintaining peace, stability, and the rule of law. We thank all law-abiding citizens for their cooperation and continue to call on everyone to reject misinformation, reject vigilantism, and work together with law enforcement and building a safer South Africa. I thank you.
Thank you. That was Lieutenant General Sigi, the Shepherd's NATJOINTS, alongside Major General Joseph Chavisi from the NCNDF, who is the co-chair of the NATJOINTS. Very key figures coming out of that press conference, confirming that we arrested 16,200 and from January to date more than 59,900. I'm now going to open the floor for the question and answer session. Can we please keep it short so that we can accommodate the IEC briefing, which is expected to start at around 1:15. Thank you, colleagues. Okay, Kelvin.
The practice for the upcoming I remember this past weekend during registrations, I didn't see even a single police van in the stations that I visited. I started in GP Hostel, I went to Dube Hostel, I went to Orlando Home during local government elections. And also lastly, are you following a lead on the killing of a Durban councillor who was killed yesterday? Thank you.
Okay, proceed.
Okay. Junior Commander from Newsroom Africa. Is there a worry that these anti-illegal foreign protests that are taking place to try and derail the local government elections that are coming up? From just a statement that you read out, it seemed like there might be a possible link between the two. And when it comes to the voter registration, you spoke about how successful this was, but there has been consistently a challenge when it comes to some of the voting stations being opened on time, with some protests taking place. Is there a way to try and anticipate such protests, and especially those areas that continuously experience such problems? When it comes to the political killings task team, and they are being roped into most of these investigations, the killings that have happened so far, are they not being stretched thin in terms of resources? Because in terms of number, it didn't seem like they were quite a lot of members that make up that particular team. Thank you.
We'll give you guys another opportunity. Let's give the chairperson an opportunity to respond to those questions.
Thank you very much, Brigadier Mate and members of the media. Perhaps starting with the last question, Junior, on the political killing task team. You will recall that the mandate of the team was also expanded to look at some of that which we believe are politically motivated. And on the areas where they have been called in, it's exactly on that mandate. So it is what we knew when it happens, the political task team will move swiftly. And we'll also recall that we also expanded this team in Gauteng as well as the Eastern Cape. So there are teams. We also trained some of members and we deployed them to other parts of the country. But equally linked to this team is the organized crime strategy that we spoke about, and that is being led by Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. That is also monitoring and assisting the team. On the issues of whether anti-foreigner sentiment is linked to the upcoming election, there is no evidence that we can talk about. However, we are observing all events and activities leading to the elections. Over time, during the time of elections, there will be mushrooming of some of the incidents or activities. And if you will recall, the weekly anti-foreigner sentiment pronouncement that was done by some of these civil society groups was that it will continue on a weekly basis until November. Surely, if you are intelligence analyst, you need to draw your mind towards the election and this particular statement. But I want to come back to say, I cannot say to you or the nation today that we are linking anti-foreigner sentiments with the election. Anything is possible. Hence, we are continuing to collect, analyze, and provide intelligence on any other mushrooming or erection of any activity across the country. The voter registration week, I think both yourself and the previous question from Carmen, by not seeing a van or seeing a police in uniform doesn't mean the police is uniform. We have adopted as NATJOINTS the 5-pillar approach. The first pillar of our operational is to collect intelligence, to analyze intelligence, and advise the operations accordingly. They may not be there when you were there, but it doesn't mean that the police were not there. We had in the week or over the weekend, for a period of 7 days, have been observing the elections, and we are or were using this registration as a drill towards the November elections. We categorize the security levels of voting stations and we deploy accordingly. Where there is no need for static, it's because the intelligence is advising as such. Where there is a need for a static deployment, it will also be determined by the level of challenges or security challenges, where at some you will see more members and at some you will see less. In our hotspots, and we do the deployment we get intelligence and it advises how we should do the deployment. On the observation of the Durban councillor, matter, I did indicated that the team is taking over that investigation and will continue to monitor their operation. As we speak, there is a strong team that is in KZN, and it will continue to operate until we close all the gaps. Okay. My apology. We are prepared, as I've indicated, and in the priority committee that is working on LGE, we work alongside the IEC. I think they have given that assurance to the country on their cooperation and working together with the security forces of the country. So we are working together, and we have been working together with IEC in the previous elections. Thank you.
Any other questions, colleagues? I think this will be the last round as we wrap up. 3 minutes. Thanks. Last question.
Calvin Dudaken from SABC News. This one goes to the South African National Defence Force. Their role during registration weekend, their role and preparations, upcoming local government elections. Thank you.
One of our roles is to ensure that we provide utility helicopters that will be able to transport and secure voter equipment to support the local government elections or IEC logistically where it's required. We are also training some of the SANDF members to be IEC officials in the event that there's an issue with those that are appointed as IEC officials. That's just a government backup plan. But we will also secure the voter registration together with the police. And we will, where is required, we will then do the escorting of those to where the counting will be taking place. And that's basically the role that we will be playing during local government elections. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. That was Major General Joseph Chalisi from the SANDF. Are there any other questions, colleagues? But I think in the interest of time, thank you so much for joining us. And you can now tune in to the IEC briefing that is expected to start in a minute's time. Thank you, colleagues. Okay, parting shot from the chairperson.
Thank you, Brigadier Mati and members of the media. I think the composition of NATJOINTS in itself speaks volume in terms of the role that these departments that are co-chairing the NATJOINTS are concerned. And from time to time, we do reiterate the fact that SANDF, based on the intelligence, plays a supporting role to the South African Police Service, who are in the forefront or in the front line of policing. So we will not unnecessarily deploy the SANDF unless the intelligence dictates as such. Equally, we do have different operational areas with different requirements, including the safeguarding of the critical infrastructure, which requires that we need to adjust our plans while we relieve some of the deployments at some of the areas. We augment or supplement them with the level that will be required in those areas. South African National Defence Force remain responsible and also accountable to ensure that within the borders of the country, there is safety, there is stability alongside the South African Police Service. Thank you.
Once again, thank you, colleagues. As you have heard from the NATJOINTS chair and the co-chair, we are ready to police the local government elections. Thank you.